Heya folks, how's it going? Today I am checking out another tabletop role-playing game that comes as a boxed game. I find these sometimes bridge the gap between board games and tabletop role-playing games, so I hope you think this one belongs on the channel as well. Today's game combines map making and storytelling. This is Companion's Tale by Laura Simpson. In A Companion's Tale, you follow a hero's story told through the lens of the people around them. This means that the story you are telling is told through a variety of unreliable narrators. Because the story you are telling is not set in stone or written for you by the game, it's up to you to decide what kind of story you would like to tell. How you roleplay the game will change what events unfold and how the game progresses each time you play. This game is played with 3 to 4 players roughly over 2.5 hours with no game master. Each player gets to play a character in the hero's story, which takes place in 5 acts. A prologue, 3 acts, and an epilogue. This is estimated to be 20 rounds divided into 6 for each of the 5 parts. For most stages of this game, there will be a historian round, 4 storytelling rounds, and then a biographer round. In these rounds, the players take on the roles of the cartographer, the companion, the witness, and the lore keeper. I will say the different phases of play that have these different sub-phases are very intimidating to describe to you. I would highly recommend having the rulebook on hand and close when you are playing, and using it sort of as the guide to play. To play the game, you are mostly using the decks provided and a large sheet of paper that you draw on to create a map. During the prologue phase, everyone collaborates on the map together. You get to decide what the great prominent feature of this land is and perhaps what it symbolizes. Then you get to answer a variety of questions and fill out the maps with those details before you begin. Then the act phase begins with a historian round. A theme card is drawn in this round. The players then go around and describe an event based around this theme and perhaps mark it on the map. The next round is the story round. The roles of cartographer, companion, witness, and lore keeper are distributed, and then the person playing the companion kicks into gear. The cards describing the companion types are drawn and placed face up. The cartographer in this phase doesn't participate as much in the story, but is writing things down and noting them on the map. The person playing the companion chooses an archetype and then draws 2 theme cards and picks one to tell a story about. Then they get to draw a face card, which will be their companion's description. With these 3 elements gathered, the player then role plays and tells a story about the time they spent with the hero. This should be done in character and using first-person pronouns. At the end of this round, any cards that are faced out need to be replenished for the next person. The witness then goes next. They look at the map and they choose an event and a place that is somewhere away from the hero. They describe the aftermath of that event and what effect it had on the world around them. Then the lore keeper goes. They get to create a piece of this world's culture. Perhaps it's a game or a sport or a piece of literature or a fable. The cartographer has to stay really active in all of these rounds and try mark as many of these things down on the map as possible. After everything's been marked down, this is when the story phase ends and the biographer's phase begins. During this phase, everyone takes turns being a biographer for another player's character. They're going to reveal something about this character, perhaps a bias or a character flaw. It should shed a little bit of light or a bit of doubt about the way the companion told their story. This rough structure is repeated 2 more times before the game moves on to the epilogue phase. During this phase, the players get to discuss what was the fate of each of the companions to the hero. There are lots of rule variations included in this game. There's one for 2 players, 3 players, expanding it to 6 to 8 players. There are even several options where you will get a style of story that you're telling, like you're all past rivals or lovers of the hero. There's certainly, I think, a lot of replayability in the mechanics of this game. I do think it is one where the rulebook acts as the game master for the players, so it is really important to keep that really close at hand and to look at it frequently to know what you're to do next. I have to say this game is really interesting. They give some great advice about being the cartographer or having to draw on the map. They recommend keeping it simple. You're not going to be doing the most highbrow art. Simple doodles will leave more room on the map for more things to happen. The art of this game is also really pretty. The companion cards and their different appearances that they could take on are both interesting to look at, but also generic-ish enough that you can sort of implement any type of story onto them. I really love that the core mechanic of this game is map making. For me, that's something really interesting and refreshing. The easiest way for you to get a hold of this game is through the PDF version on DriveThruRPG, where it is only $16 US. I paid a lot more for a print copy in Australia, but I found that was really worth it as the printing efforts done on this box game are really gorgeous. If you're looking for a game that's going to make an interesting one-shot that's going to have you sort of flexing your roleplay skills, I definitely think Companion's Tale is one to look out for. Having it be a box game does make it also very easy to bring along and take elsewhere for a games night. So those were my thoughts on Companion's Tale. I haven't explored a lot of map-making games before, so I'm keen to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Do you have another map-making game that you would like to recommend to me? Please let me know. While you're down there in the comments, I encourage you to like, subscribe, maybe share with a friend. It just encourages me to keep going. I hope you're all well, and I look forward to seeing you next time at the gaming table. Bye!